Okay. I think this is where I ended last off. I've got probably 153 pages, I think it said. No, wait, no. No, 53 pages. I'm a dum-dum. Hold on. Yeah, 53 pages left. I was about to say, if it was 153 pages, I wouldn't be this far in the book, or this is a really long book. So it's either this is going to be the last video, or the next one's going to be the last video. I'm not sure. But if you've gotten this far in the series itself, Volume 6, at almost the end of Volume 6, and you have not subscribed, I'd recommend doing so. And if you want to help out the channel, I'm not saying you have to, obviously, because I can't make you, obviously. But there are memberships in Patreon. If you want to go on those, it's fine. If you don't, I'm just putting it out there so you know it's there. Okay. R5, the old man challenges the spiders, because the last we left off, Kid Julius was having to deal with a invasion of spiders on the village or the town that was essentially attacked and destroyed by the Oats Empire that Sophia and Marizophis were from. So yeah, I'm assuming that the spiders are doing this because they were just told, essentially, yeah, back off on the dragons. You're not going after the dragons, and they need, I'm assuming, experience. And they have to have something to take on for experience, and we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a very big problem. Because sooner or later, White's going to find out what's going on, if she doesn't already sense it. I don't know. Anyway, the old man challenges the spiders. I chase after the spiders, but they've already disappeared completely. They must have used large-scale teleport to go elsewhere before I can catch up. I cannot help but admire the magical prowess it would take to transport such a large gathering in so short a time. At a loss for what to do next, I suddenly remember the words that black-clad man spoke to me. Put on some clothing, eh? True enough, I've been naked for perhaps too long now. I suppose I could return to the town for the time being to retrieve some clothes. That's exactly where the others are going. So, you're gonna find the spiders. So, yeah, this is gonna be very interesting. Hold on. Okay. I could try a search for the spiders after that. With that decided, I'd teleport back to the town, specifically into the room where I had been permitted to stay. Even I still have enough sense to recognize that appearing buck naked in public would not be ideal. However, I hear quite the ruckus outside. Is there a festival or something? At any rate, I should start by putting on some clothes. Yeah, get some clothes on real quick, and then go take down the spiders that are essentially attacking people. I rummage through my things. Ah, I'm still searching for clothes when I hear an exclamation behind me. Turning around, I see Aurel staring at me. Oh dear, I completely forgot about her. Oh, geezer! Where the hell have you been all this time? A very good question, girl. That's a very good question. A very appropriate question considering how long he's probably been gone. Well, finding myself? I mean, to be fair, you kind of were. She seems to be rather angry that I left her here for so long. I suppose I can't blame her. But when I was leading such an intense life, you cannot blame me for forgetting about a little girl or two either. The hell do you have to be naked for? Wait, now's not the time for that. You came back just in time. A huge swarm of spiders is attacking the town. You gotta put that fancy magic of yours to use here. Get rid of them for us. What's that? A swarm of spiders? Could it be? The same spiders I was with until not long ago. Just to be certain, would that swarm of spiders happen to be white? Hell if I know. Just put something on and go get out there, man. Aurel retrieves some clothes and pushes them into my hands, and yet it's not that simple. If this swarm of spiders is the same one I knew, do I even stand a chance of winning? It's almost also another very fair question, considering what's going on and what you've seen. And yet, given the timing of the matter, it must surely be them. Then indeed, this is an impossible task. Come now, Aurel, we must run away. Huh? My bold declaration is met with a wild shout from Aurel. Don't be a dumbass. All those soldiers are fighting out there right this very second. If you're not gonna work now, what are you even good for? Without your magic, you're just a useless old geezer. Isn't that going a little too far? No, she's got a point. If you're not gonna try to defend people with your magic, what's the use of having your magic? And without your magic, you're not really anything. But my magic isn't nearly strong enough to stand up to those spiders. Come on, please, Sir Hero. Julius is out there fighting. You gotta save him. Arl looks at me pleadingly, her eyes brimming with tears. Aren't you the strongest mage in the world? Just go out there all full of yourself and beat the crap out of those monsters like you always do. I'm begging you, please. Arl's plea fills me with consternation. I am not the strongest mage in the world. Strongest human mage, yes. After I was soundly defeated by the master, surely I cannot take on those 9 spiders, each of which rivals that great being in power. I have no choice but to run, and yet... You ran away? A voice echoes somewhere in the back of my mind. These are my very own words from a long time ago. Was that oath of ours a lie? I thought we were supposed to protect humanity together. Where did you run away to? Why? Who is the voice? It's his own words. Does he have a parallel mind skill now? No, it'd be interesting if he did. Oh, my far younger self cries out deep within me. That was when the previous Sword King vanished. During his reign, the people of the Empire called him a god of swordsmanship. That man was my comrade and friend. With my sword and your magic, we will protect humanity, he once said to me. We fought side by side, protecting the Empire from the demon invasion. I thought we would go on fighting together forever. I never once doubted that. And yet one day he suddenly disappeared. He fled from his own duties like a coward, even from his rank as the strongest swordsman in the world, from his role in the very future of humanity. I felt like I had been betrayed. At the same time, I swore that I would never run away. Not from my rank as the strongest mage in the world, not from the expectations of the people, and not from the future of humanity that rested squarely on my shoulders. Why was I so determined to reach the pinnacle of magic? What was the reason that I am so passionately sought more power? I remember now. I remember why I've been striving all this time, so I could protect the people in the stead of the former Sword King who fled from his role. And yet I thought to run away from peril that threatens the people because I cannot win. Unbelievable. I must do no such thing. My magical prowess exists for the purpose of protecting people. If I run away, I really will be nothing but a useless, creepy, naked old geezer. Do not cry, child. Okay, so I know that he survives, which means he either drove them back enough that they gave pause and went back to the Great Elra Labyrinth, or something else stepped in and sent them packing. It's got to be one of the two, because I highly doubt they're going to stop just because you show up. I mean, they were kind of ignoring you in the Great Elra Labyrinth anyway, so I highly doubt that's going to happen. I pulled the clothing out of Arl's hands and hurriedly put them on. Leave it to me. I will not run away. Not for my rank as the strongest mage in the world. Strongest human mage. Yes, you are. Even if that is a false, unreliable title, I must not run away from it. Victory would be a difficult task, but I can at least save the hero who Arl is so worried about. I rush outside, leaving Arl standing there in shock. When I arrive, the battle is in a grim state of affairs. The soldiers have no battle formation or strategy to speak of, simply trying to fight back against the spiders that press down on them. I doubt that formations would work against the spiders anyway, since they can move freely through 3-dimensional space. They leap over the soldiers' shields, attacking them from behind. No wonder their formations are in tatters. Do not think poorly of me for this, sisters, brothers. I aim for a place where many of the spiders are gathered and use a large-scale fire magic spell. I still have not mastered the art of packing more magic power into a spell. But the spiders are naturally weak against fire, so even a basic fire magic spell has an impact. If the 9 ringleader spiders don't show up, I may be able to take them on after all. Here I go. I spray fire magic around as much as I can without catching any of the soldiers in it. All over, spiders burn up into cinders. Losing their numbers and their momentum, the spiders begin to be driven back by the soldiers who have regained some fighting spirit thanks to my assistance. Among them, I see one short-statured young man. That must be the hero Arl was talking about. Goodness, such a small child should not be taking part in a battle like this by any means. Looking past him, I see another spider bearing down on him. The boy is unable to react in time and simply gazes up in horror at the fangs closing in on him. Quickly, I blow the spider away with a fireball. You've worked hard, my boy. Leave the rest to me. No sooner do I speak to him than the boy collapses, perhaps exhausted from the physical and mental strain. I catch him before he hits the ground. Master Ronan! Just in time, Tiva comes running up to me. Take care of him for me. I hand the boy off to Tiva, then turn to face forward. Before my eyes, the spiders I've lived alongside not long ago stand ready for a fight. 4. Baby Spider Beatdown. The Demon Lord Vampy and Mira have all gone to town. Wait, what? Baby Spider Beatdown. Oh, did she hear about what's going on? Maybe? Hold on. Sorry, I got a freaking... I feel like there's something stuck in one of my teeth. Hang on. I had a freaking burrito bowl, and the only annoying thing about it is that they put fajita vegetables in it when I didn't ask for it, so I was having to pick them out. Got it. Okay. To kill time, I'm amusing myself by remodeling the puppet spiders as usual, when suddenly I detect a warp in space. Oh wait, the others are in town, so they don't see you doing this, so that you can go and deter them. The telltale signs of a teleport spell. Someone's about to warp here. What? Who? I don't even need to bother wondering. I'd recognize that way too perfect manipulation of space anywhere. Just as I suspected, Gilly Gilly appears before me. If there's anyone else in the world who's this good at teleporting, well, let's just say I hope there isn't. As an administrator, Gilly Gilly uses teleport way even more precisely than I do. Even though I have height of occultism too, I doubt anyone else could be on this level. It's been a while. The puppet spiders are visibly alarmed by Gilly Gilly's arrival, but I nod as calmly as I can. We don't have much time, so I'll cut straight to the point. Your copies are on a rampage. Please do something about it. Thank you! Someone finally does something to tell her this. Okay. Good. So now she can finally go and deal with it, which means she might need to deal with... She might meet Ronan, which means... I'm curious as to how that will go. Come again? What did he just say? My copies are on a rampage? Wait, what? Does he mean my parallel minds? Perhaps it would be faster to show you. With the wave of his arm, Gilly Gilly creates some kind of screen floating in the air. What kind of magic is that? But what's on the screen is even more alarming than the screen itself. It's a town where Vampy once lived, and a huge swarm of white spiders is attacking it. Say what? You see, if this is not your doing, I would like you to stop it. Huh? What? If this is your doing, I shall have no choice but to react accordingly. Ignoring my confusion, Gilly Gilly's voice takes on a dangerous tone. I believe I told you before that if your actions lead to results that run counter to mine, you shall find me standing in your way. Did I not? Uh-oh, am I in trouble? You did nothing wrong, you didn't do this. You just put your parallel minds in those other spiders. You didn't anticipate them doing this. I didn't think there was any way even I can win against an administrator, right? In which case there's only one correct answer. I'll go stop them. For once, I'd make a firm statement out loud, mostly because if I didn't, he'd probably kill me on the spot. With that, I waste no time in starting to prepare a teleport spell. You will you? Good. Gilly Gilly looks relieved. I guess this was a pretty tight spot for him. If he laid a hand on me, he might very well be making an enemy of D. Doing what he says right now is best for both of us, really. What the hell are those parallel minds doing anyway? Are they stupid? Do they want to die? I hope so, because I'm going to kill him for this. Yeah, I don't know if the 9 spiders are there or if it's just the others. I'm assuming it's the others because Ronan's able to take them out pretty well. Because if the 9 spiders were there, then he would not be able to take them out, but still. I hate it when other people hold me back, but I never expected my own damn selves to hold me back too. As I rage inwardly, I noticed the puppet spiders in a panic in front of me. Oh yeah, what should I do about them? Since they're under orders from the Demon Lord to keep watch on me, wouldn't leaving them here mean they're technically shirking their duties? The Demon Lord might get mad at them for that, even though they didn't do anything wrong. I guess I feel kind of bad. Maybe I should give them the option to at least be able to say they were watching me that whole time. Want to come too? The puppet spiders look at one another, then nod in perfect sync. Okay, then let's go. I teleport us behind the army of spiders. Wouldn't want the townspeople seeing what I look like now, after all. Ideally, I should probably be helping the people fighting on the front lines, but I'll just have to hope they have it under control. What I need to do with, personally, are these idiot parallel minds of mine. Their spider army is so huge you can't even see the ground. But I don't need to search to know where the parallel minds are. They are me, after all. Besides, when there are 9 specific spiders who are emitting an aura totally different from the rest of the swarm, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that those are my parallel minds. At any rate, I should probably shove my way in there and talk to them. I don't want to endanger the puppet spiders, so I'll have them hang back for now. Hey, dummies, what's the big idea? My words come easily enough for once. Maybe it's because it's my own selves I'm talking to. The main body? You're on to us already? Yeah, Gilly Gilly mentioned y'all. Y'all are getting in trouble for this. And one of the parallel minds responds to me with telepathy. You want to tell me what exactly is going on here? Gilly showed up to complain to me about it. What? That Gilly sure acts fast. So fast he was gonna kill me if I didn't stop you guys. Cut it out, will ya? Seriously, what do you think you're doing? I made no effort to hide my annoyance. Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with her, and I don't think you want to deal with her. The parallel minds look at one another, then turn to me like I'm the one being unreasonable. What do you mean? What? It's obvious we should kill all the humans. Huh? Excuse me? I don't quite understand. You're not making sense. If you don't understand that, you're the one who's not making sense. Ah, I guess I do kind of get it after all. I mean, I guess I already knew, or I wouldn't have chased them out of my mind and into new bodies in the first place. These guys aren't me anymore. They're similar, but not quite the same. In other words, they're their own people. And now these other people are becoming a huge pain in my ass. If I don't stop them, Gilly's gonna kill me, so I have no qualms about crushing them. Yeah, because they're not technically you. That being said, 1 against 9 isn't exactly ideal for me. Huge as the rest of the spider army might be, their stats are so low compared to mine that I could honestly just ignore them. But even without counting them, I'm still outnumbered, and my opponents are my own clones. That means their stats and skills should be the same as mine. The biggest difference is probably that I'm half human, half spider arachne, while these guys are still the same small spider monsters I used to be. But there are 9 of them. If I try to fight all of them head on, I'm not going to be the one who comes out on top. So instead, with no preamble whatsoever, I draw close to one of the parallel minds. Then I swing the giant scythe in my hands, piercing through its head. What? Have you lost your mind, body brain? You're the one who's lost your minds. I use the front scythe legs of my spider hack to slash at the impaled parallel mind. Dude, you guys do realize that if y'all don't quit this, Demon Lord's gonna find out about this eventually, because I'm sure she's on friendly terms with at least one of the administrators. Or I assume she is. Because I think Gilly is in one of her little group in the future, if I remember correctly. The guy in black armor, I think it's him. But yeah, eventually this will get back to her, and if the Demon Lord if Ariel realizes that this is going on, she might think that White's trying to go against her, and we can't have that. In the meantime, finishing up the preparation of my large-scale dark magic spell, I unleash it on the rest of the agitated parallel minds. No matter how fast they might be, they can't avoid my attack if the scale is too large to escape completely. It hits all of them at once. Of course that spell isn't going to kill them. Since they have the same stats as I do, any magic that can be invoked that quickly won't be able to finish them off, but it'll work just fine as a preemptive attack. I'm sure the parallel minds weren't expecting me to attack them out of the blue, so before they can stand back up, I finish off the one I stabbed with my scythe. Even if I can't do anything if my head is crushed, that's where your brain is after all. Without a brain, you can't think, which means you can't do anything. Luckily for me, the main body, I have both a spider head and a human head, so as long as one is intact, I can still keep functioning. I know that for a fact since my human head got blown off during the fight with Patimus, and I still managed to get by. But these parallel minds have only the one. Psst, these boring old spiders without a human half couldn't beat me in 100 years. With the head still impaled on my giant scythe, I used my spider scythe to tear this one to pieces. 1 down, 8 to go. With one of their number taken out, the rest of them seem to fully recognize me as an enemy now. Each of them is starting to prepare its own magic. Seems like 6 of them are going to cast instantaneous spells, while the other 2 are charging up more powerful magic. I'm guessing the 6 are going to try to pin me down with a barrage of spells so that the other 2 can finish me off with the big ones. As if I'm just going to let that happen. Divine Dragon Barrier activate. This is the extra powerful form of Dragon Barrier, which dampens the power of magic. It's the same method the Demon Lord used to render me powerless before, so these guys won't be able to use magic now. At least that's what I thought at first, but then I barely managed to dodge the spells that come flying at me with no regard for the barrier at all. Crap, this isn't going to work. One of the other parallel minds is using a Divine Dragon Barrier of its own to cancel mine out. Of course, that's not good. Black spears come flying at me, so I dodge them or cancel them out with my own magic. As an arachne, I have 2 heads and even 2 hearts. That means I can do 2 things at the same time. Specifically, I can activate up to 2 spells at once, but there are 8 opponents. The math of 2 heads against 8 still doesn't work out in my favor. I can't quite manage to dodge or counter them all, so some of the spells hit my body. Individually, of course, the attacks don't do that much damage. But as they say, too much straw will break the spider's back. Judging by it that things will only get worse from here if nothing changes, I charge toward the 2 who are preparing larger scale spells. I take a few hits from the other 6 on the way, but they're not going to be fatal wounds, so I'll have to ignore them. Realizing I've abandoned defense in favor of attacking, one of the parallel mines speeds over to stand in my way. This one must have realized that magic wasn't slowing me down, so it's planning to stop me with physical combat. The parallel mine shoots thread at me, which I stop with thread of my own. Then I swing my giant scythe down at the parallel mine, but it swung up its own scythe to block me. The result, my giant scythe slices right through the parallel mine's body, scythes and all. Sliced in half by a single stroke, the parallel mine turns to dust and disappears. Huh. Since they're clones, I guess that's why they do that? Because usually if you die, you have a body. A dead body, but a body. So, sure, our stats might be roughly the same, but this was bound to happen. Why? Because of raw attack. Never mind, I'm dumb. It's raw. She used a raw attack. Raw attack imbues any physical attack with the raw attribute, a powerful attribute that controls death. It's so strong that even when my stats were total garbage, it was able to take out a far more powerful monster in one hit. However, that high power comes at a cost, since the raw attack attribute hurts the user as well. To put it simply, whatever body part I use raw attack with gets totally ruined. When I first got this skill, I used it on one of my scythes to attack a monster. As a result, the monster turned to dust, and my scythe got destroyed. So it's basically a self-destruct attack that harms the user in exchange for dealing a huge amount of damage to the opponent. Because I had rot resistance, it only did that much damage to me, but apparently if I hadn't had that resistance, it could have killed me with one use. Talk about a dangerous skill. That's exactly the reason, if I remember correctly, why your species, when you got that ability, didn't ever evolve, really, because that rot attack is what kills them, and they never got to the point where they could evolve again. But wait, all you have to do is use that dangerous skill through a weapon. If I put the raw attribute on a weapon, it won't cause any damage to my body, and maybe because it's not a living thing, the weapon doesn't even take damage either. In other words, I can use that vicious raw attack without any risk at all. Sure, the parallel mines can use raw attack too, but they're still just spiders. That means they can't hold weapons. If they use raw attack like I just said before, they'll damage themselves too. I can use raw attack as much as I want with zero risk, but they can't use it without being prepared to pay the price. That makes a huge difference. Since our stats are roughly the same, if I want to do big damage with a single attack, I'll have to use a really powerful move. And most of my really powerful moves are magic related. Any major spell requires a decent amount of time to prepare, even if when using high of occultism skill I have. Which means that if the parallel mines want to cause severe damage to me, they'll have to spend a whole while preparing a spell first. I, on the other hand, just have to wave my raw attack infused scythe, which of course doesn't take any prep time at all. This advantage will more than make up for the difference in numbers between us. 7 to go. Wait, 7? Oh yes, it was 9. Never mind. That scythe is bad news. It's raw attack. Don't let her get too close. I knew they would figure it out. I mean, they're not dumb. Realizing how powerful my scythe is with raw attack, the other parallel mines quickly move to get away from me. In the meantime, they keep flinging magic down on me like hail. I follow hot on their heels, but our stats are the same, which makes our speed is too. I can keep you, but I can't catch up. I can keep up, but I can't catch up to them. At this rate, they'll just keep shooting at me as I chase after them. Damn, this isn't looking good. The pair who've been preparing spells this whole time is getting ready to use abyss magic. Excuse me. How are you going to use soul-destroying magic against me? Your main body. I'll die, you know. If that hits me, I'll die. Are you actually totally okay with that? But I doubt they'd listen to me if I said all that out loud. I mean, I'm the one who started trying to kill them first. By now, they must see me as nothing more than an enemy. It's too late to stop them with words. I can only rely on force now, but how exactly? Frankly, the situation's not looking good. I've been using Divine Dragon Barrier and Anti-Magic Evil Eye to try to hinder their magic, but they're just canceling them out while using identical skills. Same goes for Stealing Evil Eye. I guess now we know that Evil Eyes can cancel each other out. It's precisely because our stats and skills are the same that having more numbers puts them in a way better position. My main advantages are my human half and the fact that it allows me to use raw attack with my scythe, but that doesn't matter if I can't get close to them. Isn't there any skill I can use to stop their abyss magic? Should I activate Anti-Magic Evil Eye on all of my eyes? Wait a second. I might have 10 eyes if you include my human half, but these guys have 7 times 8 eyes altogether. The extra pair of eyes on my human body doesn't matter one bit when there's a boatload more on their side. So Sealing Evil Eye won't work either. In fact, even if they didn't cancel it out, I don't know if it would have much effect. Sealing Evil Eye renders its skill temporarily useless, but that seal is treated as a status condition. It doesn't work on a target with status condition nullification. If only I could stop them from using a skill, I would seal abyss magic. Prevent them from using a skill. Wait, don't I have a way of literally doing that? An idea hits me, so I test it out right away. Huh? All the parallel minds exclaim in confusion. As soon as I hear that, I knew my experiment was a success, and I know I've won. My victory is now so assured that I feel silly for panicking before. Now I can win this fight without picking I can win this fight now while picking my nose. I mean, I'm not going to, but still, that's how easy this will be. Talk about certain victory. You can't blame the parallel minds for being surprised. After all, they can't use magic anymore. The abyss magic they were preparing has been totally cancelled out too, leaving all their plans in shambles. And I'm not naive enough or nice enough to just stand around while they're confused. Immediately I'm on top of them, aiming my scythe at one of their heads. The parallel minds gets impaled instantly, leaving its body twitching. I do wonder what she did. Can we get an explanation? Another one comes back to its senses and starts to shoot some thread at me, but nothing comes out. Why? Drawing my giant scythe back, I swing it at another parallel mind. This time, though, it manages to dodge my attack, and all of them quickly move away from me. Still, now they're down to 6. The body I did stab turns to dust as a result of the raw attack. The other parallel minds have managed to move out of my range, but they're milling around, clearly unsure how to attack me. What did you do? One of them asks as if unable to bear not knowing any longer. But I don't answer. I just silently ready my scythe. What I did was simple. I turned off my skills. As you might know, skills can be turned on and off. Long ago, when the Earth Dragon Erebba realized it had been defeated, it turned off its skills so I could finish it off. That was the first time I realized you could turn skills on and off. No, I guess I already figured you could do that, but I pretty much forgotten since there didn't seem to be any point in doing so. I mean, turning skills off has 0 benefits. Obviously, if you turn off a skill, you can't use it anymore. That's it. Nothing special happens. It doesn't make your other skills level up faster or conserve energy or anything like that. Frankly, there's usually no reason to ever turn off skills, but in this case, that little function turns out to be my ultimate saving grace. After all, my opponents are copies of me at the end of the day, so as my parallel minds, their power is really my power. So what, just because you do something to yourself, that means it affects them too? Really? All that strength, including their skills and stats, is borrowed from the real me, the main body. So what happens if I, the main body, turn off those skills? The answer rests with the confused parallel minds before me, unable to use magic or thread. Without height of occultism, they can't use magic, and turning off the divine thread weaving skill deactivates their skills. I also turned off the evil eye skills, their resistance skills, and most other skills too, even immortality. If I'm killed right now, I'll be dead for good. And the same applies to the parallel minds. Really though, they're just parts of me that happen to gain their own bodies. If they die, they'll just return to me again. As it stands, the 3 parallel minds I've killed have already come back to me and are yelling annoyingly inside my head, of course. Ideally, I could just turn off the parallel mind skill and be done with it, but of course it wouldn't be that easy. I wasn't able to turn off the parallel mind skill, maybe because they're in their own bodies right now. Well, still, that's not really a big deal. These guys have no way of winning anymore. They can't turn their skills back on because it was me, the main body, who turned them off in the first place. When all is said and done, they're copies of the original me. They can't override the main body's commands. Originally, parallel minds is a skill that divides your consciousness into copies, none of which is any better or worse than the other. The parallel minds and I are supposed to be the same exact being. At least that's how it used to be. Once they absorbed Mother, my parallel minds changed. From that moment on, they were no longer me anymore. They're their own separate beings who just happen to resemble me, but I'm still in control of my own power. Their skills and stats are all borrowed. This bunch of fakers thinks they can go around using my power for whatever they want? Not happening. Giant scythe in hand, I break into a run. The parallel minds scatter, flying in all directions. I set my sights on one of them and swing my scythe. My target dodges a few times but can't keep it up forever against my equally matched stats. Soon my scythe grazes the leg, which is enough to cut it off with ease. With its movements hindered by the loss of one leg, the rest is in the bag. I skewer its head just like the parallel minds I killed before. As I finish that one off, another parallel mind tries to attack me from behind. Not a smart idea. Its scythe leg comes down on the back of my human half, but it's no use. The dress I made with divine thread weaving catches the parallel mind's scythe. It can't block it completely, of course, so the scythe manages to cut through and reach my skin, but it barely leaves a scratch. Hardly any damage at all. The parallel mind, clearly panicked by how little effect its attack had, tries to withdraw. Think again, pal. You ain't getting away this time. I swing my scythe around, the blade cutting through the parallel mine behind me. Just like that, the parallel mine's body is cut in half in midair. I do wonder, is the scythe she's been using, is that her actual scythe, like her spider scythe or her spider half? Or is it an actual scythe, a weapon like a human can use? Because if it's a weapon that a human can use, her little comment back there makes sense. So I'm guessing that it is, because she hasn't mentioned any damage done to her body because of using raw attacks. So, yeah. Okay, 4 to go. Without their skills, the parallel mines are just a bunch of small spider monsters with high stats. Their only attack options are biting with their fangs, or slicing with their front legs. And without skills like cutting enhancement, even those don't amount to much. They can't inflict a fatal wound on me when I have the same stats. On top of that, I can turn their skills off whenever I want. If they decide to self-destruct and use a rod attack, I can just turn off that skill, rendering their attempt to a normal physical attack. I have nothing to fear from them. Of the 4 remaining parallel mines, 3 of them attack me at once. One goes for my human neck, one for my spider head, and the last follows shortly after the first 2. I mean, of course. I'm sure the 4th one is going to try something once I dodge the first 2 attacks. I know exactly what you guys are thinking because I'm thinking the same thing. Guess I'll do something they don't expect. When the first one aims its scythe at my neck, I catch it with my human half's mouth. Huh? That's definitely something that they weren't expecting, that's for sure. I can't wait to see some of this in the anime, that's for sure. Just don't butcher it, please. When the second one aims its scythe at my spider head, I block it with my spider half scythe. The third one, surprised by this turn of events, tries to hit the brakes, so I ruthlessly swing my scythe at it. Unable to stop in time, the parallel mine's head runs straight into my scythe. At the same time, the first attacker uses a scythe that's not in my mouth to stab at my head. And it goes in straight between my eyebrows. Yeah, no way was I gonna be able to dodge that one. The scythe threatens to pierce right through my skull and hit my brain, but I'm not letting that happen. I grab the scythe with my free hand and yank it out with all my strength. Now this poor parallel mine has one of its scythes strapped to my mouth, the other in my hand. There's nowhere to run. I swing my scythe with one hand to complete the execution. 2 more to go. But in the meantime, the one who was locked scythe to scythe with my spider body has retreated. On top of that, it's trying to run away. Fair enough. I guess most people would run if they realized their chances were this hopeless. Anyone would run. Even me, in fact. It's because it would run that this one's running. The other one who didn't attack me already tried to run away too, but it looks like the puppet spiders actually blocked this one's escape route. That one's escape route. Huh. Guess I'll leave them to it then. Which means I'm free to go back to the other one. Our stats are the same, so I won't be able to catch up to it by running. That means it won't be able to lose me either, but I'd rather not just play chase forever. So I turn on a single skill. Repellent Evil Eye, activate. I unleash a gravity attack on the fleeing parallel mine. It doesn't really do any damage, but that's not my goal. Or not my goal anyway, I'm just trying to slow it down. As long as extra gravity is slowing it down, I'll catch up soon enough. Our base speed is the same after all. Just kill me! Wait, on second thought, please don't kill me! No, I'm definitely gonna kill you. Huh? Seriously, cut it out! Why are you stopping us? What's wrong with you, main body? Killing everybody would make things so much easier. Plus, it's the fastest way to save this world, so isn't that the most logical course of action? Why would you get in the way of that? It doesn't make sense. Like I said, you guys are the ones that don't make sense. Seriously, why would you come to such an extreme conclusion? The effect of absorbing Mother must have given them some seriously weird ideas. Admittedly, I do partly understand what they're saying. If you think about how the system works, killing tons of humans really is the fastest way to save this world, but eradicating humans to do so is totally missing the point. My guess is that this is something Mother wanted to do, but couldn't, so they've inherited her will. So annoying. For now, I just cut down the parallel mines who's shrieking in front of me. The rot attribute turns its body to dust. At the same time, the parallel mine itself returns to me, shrieking all the while. So loud. Now there's a total of 8 parallel mines clambering around in my head. The last remaining one is locked in an intense battle with the puppet spiders some distance away. It's 1 against 4, and the parallel mine has no skills. Even so, it's putting up a pretty good fight. I guess its stats are relatively high compared to the puppet spiders, huh? If anything, the puppet spiders must be pretty strong to be holding their own against such a big stat difference. My magical modifications have made them pretty strong. At this point, I've more or less rebuilt from scratch the doll bodies they've served as their outer shell. Honestly, there's not a trace left of how they originally looked. You can barely tell they're not human anymore, and my divine thread-weaving skill has made their bodies stronger too. I've hidden 4 of their 6 arms as a sort of gimmick. They're normally stashed away inside the doll bodies, making them look that much more human. Right now, of course, they have their hidden arms out, such that they're fighting seriously, and since they're fighting seriously and all. They're already really strong monsters with stats averaging over 10,000, but my modding has made them even stronger. Kinda weird, huh? They're subordinates of the Demon Lord, which should make them potential enemies to me. Why in the world am I making them stronger? Yeah, it's a little strange. But however strong they might be now, they still can't beat the Parallel Mind. Its stats are on the same as mine after all. I already know for a fact that the Puppet Spider's weapons don't work on me, so if the Parallel Mind has the same stats as I do, their weapons won't work on it either. Even with its skills sealed, its stats are plenty high enough to defeat the Puppet Spiders. That's right, even if I make them a little bit stronger, the Puppet Spiders still won't be able to beat me, so it's fine. Yeah, let's go with that. Anyway, I better step in before the Puppet Spiders get hurt. The Parallel Mind is so busy dealing with them that I can easily attack it from behind. KO, winner, me. The final Parallel Mind's body scatters into dust and it returns to my head. The Puppet Spiders must have been having a pretty tough time because as soon as they see that, they all flop to the ground. Good work, ladies. With the Parallel Minds taken care of, I can turn my skills back on. Now I just have to decide what to do with this ridiculously huge army of spiders. Looking around, it's all spiders as far as the eye can see. It sort of reminds me of the hellish sibling war I first saw when I was born in this world. Pretty traumatic, to be honest. What am I going to do about these guys, though? The fastest way would be to finish them all off with some sort of massive area of effect magic, but I could feel a little bad about that. I mean, they were only acting on the Parallel Mind's orders. They're really just babies with no will of their own. As I think about that, I sense something magical from the town. From my perspective, it's fairly weak, but it seems like it's going to be on a pretty big scale. Big enough to wipe most of them out. Just then a light bulb pops up in my head. Goes off in my head. As a magic user in the town prepares a spell, I prepare one of my own. The magic user's magic activates. It's some massive area of effect fire attack. Wait, is that the Scorched Earth spell the Fire Dragon Erebba used on me a long time ago? Whoa, I didn't know there were any humans who could use the same kind of magic as an Earth Dragon. Its scale and strength aren't anywhere near Erebba's, but it's still damn impressive. Wait a sec. Why does this magic user have an appraisal icon? Ah, I know! That's the damn old man who burned down my home with magic in the Great Overlord Labyrinth ages ago. Fancy running into you here. Now I can take my revenge on the home you burned. Oops, while I was thinking all that, the magic-using old geezer finished his spell. Hellfire burns its way across the ground. No big deal, though, since the spider's army is not there anymore. Right before the magic mage used his spell, I activated teleport and tossed the spider army right back into the Great Overlord Labyrinth. From the magic's point of view, it should look like his spell wiped them all out. What are they going to do back in the labyrinth? Don't ask me, that's their problem. Childcare? Hey, it was the Parallel Minds who popped him off, not me. Anyway, looks like this case is closed. As for the old mage, I guess I'll let him off for now. If the guy who's supposed to have destroyed the spider army suddenly dies, it'll look unnecessarily suspicious. Like this whole situation isn't already going to raise a whole lot of questions, but if it took guts to stand up to that giant army of spiders and risk his life to shoot off that huge spell, so I'll take that into consideration and let him live this time. You better appreciate my incredible generosity, pal. Alright, guess we're done here. With that, I teleport back to where I came from along with the puppet spiders. Okay, how long have I been recording? 38 minutes. Okay. R6, the old man takes an apprentice. The town wall and gates have crumbled to the ground. Soldiers rush about trying to fix it. I look on, not at them, but at the field beyond them. An army of white spiders attacked this town, but someone miraculously drove them back. As that someone was me, at least that's what everyone else believes. The massive infernal spell I invoked, Scorched Earth, burned up not only the spiders but inside the town, but those outside its walls as well. The wall and gates within its range were destroyed too, but that's a small price to pay for protecting the rest of the town. If my spell really did destroy those spiders, that is. I stare out at the field. It's been burned into a wasteland with nothing else remaining, but I know what I saw. Beyond the flames, I saw the master far in the distance, a white spider now with the upper half of a young woman. Though her form may have changed, I would recognize that great being anywhere. Yep, she was there, and she took out the ringleaders, so yeah. As well as the signs of the master's magic, which she activated as if timed to match my own. No, my magic didn't vanquish those spiders. That master took care of it before I had the chance. I was in a hazy state of duress as my MP ran low, so I do not know exactly what magic the master used, but I have no doubt that she moved them out of the way of my spell. Otherwise, there was no way I could have won against that army of spiders, especially their 9 leaders. When I last met the master, it was as enemies, and I nearly lost my life. But this time it appears my life has been saved instead. I still have so much to learn. Why have I been striving to reach the pinnacle of magic power? In order to be saved? No, surely it was in order to save others. When I was young, I had used magic to dispel the fiery sparks that were attempting to descend in the Empire or else be burned alive. For at the time, the desperate battle against the demons was underway, but when the Demon Lord was replaced, and around the same time the hero and the previous Sword King both disappeared, so the war settled into an almost eerie stillness. Perhaps it is because it has been so long since that war that I'd forgotten the fervor I once felt. Striving for the pinnacle of magic. That was only supposed to be the means, not the end, but somewhere along the way it ended up becoming my main goal. I am weak. After my encounter with that great being, I became painfully aware of my own weakness, and I have aged. So many years have passed that I forgot my original goal. If a weak old man like me strives for the pinnacle of magic, just how much strength might I gain in the process? If I gain strength, how much can I do for others with it? Oh, there he is! Damn it! Hey, geezer! Arl, I am your master, you know, for all intents and purposes. Is that really any way to address me? If you ask me, geezer is damn well good enough for any jerk who'd leave a cute little girl like me all alone and run off to who the hell knows where. She's got a point, dude. You left her to fend for herself for who knows how long. We don't even know. I can't argue with her there. Oh yeah, Sir Hero wants to talk to you, geezer. Aro pushes forward the boy next to her. Oh yes, I knew I recognized him from somewhere. It's the boy hero, the one who stood bravely against that spider army despite his youth. Thank you very much for saving me before. The boy hero bows his head deeply. If you wish to thank anyone, thank Arl here. I only saved you because she came crying to me, begging me to do it. What? Arl's face turns bright red. Is she embarrassed that I let slip how she cried, or is it something else? The boy hero too fidgets bashfully at her reaction. Ah, youth, they're nothing more than infants, really. You are the famous mage, Master Ronan, aren't you? Working up his courage, the young hero changes the subject. I am indeed. Please make me your apprentice. Oh? An apprentice, eh? I raise my eyebrows, but Aro looks even more surprised. What are you saying, guy? This geezer's a total weirdo. If you become his apprentice, you'll turn into a weirdo too, you know. How very rude. Perhaps I should fire her already. Even if he is a weirdo, he's shown that he really is powerful. He defeated all those spiders after all. I want to become stronger too, so please help me get stronger. I'm begging you. Why has it already been decided I'm a weirdo? Still, an apprentice. Won't you please? I considered it for a moment. I thought my goal was to reach the pinnacle of magic, but that was only ever a means to an end. My real goal was to help people. But I am weak and old, with little time left. I cannot lie to myself any longer. Ever since my encounter with those 3 earth dragons, deep down I have known. I am not strong enough to contend against the truly powerful, and I never will be, no matter how much hellish training and effort I might undertake now. So how can I be the most help to people going forward? An apprentice, eh? Very well then, I shall make you my first apprentice. You mean it? I do indeed. I doubt I shall ever reach the pinnacle of magic, so instead perhaps I should take on an apprentice to teach everything I know. If that apprentice can be of help to others in the future, so much the better. And this boy is the hero. They say the person chosen as a hero is always one of righteous heart. From what Aro has said, this boy is courageous and true. If I help him be strong, he will surely use that power for good as well. But my training will not be easy, you know. Yes, sir. And thus I took on my first apprentice. To think I set out to become that great being's apprentice, yet wound up becoming master to an apprentice of my own instead. Truly, one never knows what turns one's life would take. Okay, interlude, the Pontiff's decision. I see. After hearing my subordinate's report, I'm unable to suppress a sigh. The first information I received via Fartalk was that the capital of Karen County in Sariella had been attacked by a swarm of spider monsters. Our soldiers, who were in the middle of a departure ceremony before leaving to attack the next town, were caught in this attack, though they fortunately managed to fend it off. However, they took heavy losses and will no longer be able to march on as scheduled. This means an immense delay to our plans. In fact, it is no longer clear whether we will be able to carry out this plan at all. The spider army that attacked is most likely connected to Lady Ariel. If when we spoke in person, however, I didn't get the impression that she was too attached to the goddess religion. Yeah, this wasn't Ariel's doing. She has no clue about this. Which leaves only one possible culprit in my mind, the Nightmare of the Labyrinth. A highly unusual spider monster which Lady Ariel insisted was not her subordinate. That is the only other being I can think of that could do such a thing. However, this doesn't quite seem to add up. Lady Ariel stated that she had things under control with the Nightmare of the Labyrinth. Though she declined to share any details, I assume that means they've reached some kind of agreement. If so, why would something like this occur? It doesn't make sense. However, the fact remains that it happened. If what happened in our battle before was the work of the Nightmare of the Labyrinth, it must be supporting Sariella, acting separately from Lady Ariel. If so, would it not be foolish to attack Sariella any further? The elves are acting behind the scenes to create some kind of human trafficking ring. The demons now have Lady Ariel as their demon lord. There is a great deal that must be dealt with outside of Sariella. And it might be dangerous to risk making an enemy of the mysterious power known as the Nightmare of the Labyrinth at a time like this. We shall re-examine our invasion of Sariella. Karen County will still be incorporated into Oates, but let us refrain from attacking them any further. I see in the back of my mind the image of a certain man holding a young infant as I give these orders. Okay, fine. Spiders of the same stripe. After I defeated the parallel mines, I teleported back to where I'd come from, but Gilly was still there. Is it done? I nod in response. But he continues to sit there wordlessly, and I certainly can't start up a conversation, so the silence stretches on for ages. The puppet spiders are totally frozen, presumably due to nervousness, which means the awkwardness only keeps deepening. Right when so much time has passed that I'm starting to think I might die from the stress, the Demon Lord and the rest of our crew return from town. You're late. You only ever stay one night. Why did you choose now of all times to stay 2? How do you think I felt keeping silent for 2 whole nights? Whoops, that was longer than planned. Sorry. Sorry ain't good enough. The Demon Lord smoothly ignores Gilly without missing a beat. Mira and Vampy are staring at him like crazy, but since the Demon Lord is ignoring him, it looks like they don't want to be the ones to say anything either. The Demon Lord continues ignoring Gilly as she places a barrel firmly on the ground. Oh, a barrel. You know what that means. It's going to be booze. Without further ado, drinking time begins. As usual, the Demon Lord is knocking him back like water, and Gilly is keeping pace too. Oh, wait a sec. Why is he drinking with us? That's what I was about to say, and then it popped up for me. Mira drinks a little bit, but mostly he just sits there looking pleased. Over and over, his gaze keeps drifting toward Vampy, who's once again snuck a sip of alcohol and passed out immediately. What? Is this that lolicon thing I've heard people talk about? Nah, I'm sure this is just a parental figure gazing fondly at his ward. That's probably what it is, yeah. So, what are you doing here, Gilly? Aha, the Demon Lord finally brought it up. I had business with that thing. Gilly responds coolly, and since I was here, I thought I might pay you a visit as well. Wait, was he talking about me just now? That thing? What am I, chopped liver? Gilly looks at me startled. What are you so surprised about, pal? Apparently White here starts talking when she's drunk. Is that so? Trying to cover his surprise, Gilly delicately takes another sip. For some reason that strikes me as so funny that I bust out laughing. Also, she starts laughing really easily. Yes, I can see that. Everything's suddenly so hilarious that I start pounding Mira on the back as he's sitting next to me. Somehow this is it flying into the air. Oops. Whoopsie. Sorry, Mira. Huh? I thought I hit him pretty lightly, but it still sent him flying, huh? This time of him launching into the air like that sends me rolling around in an even bigger fit of laughter. Is he dead? No, he appears to simply be unconscious. Oh, God. The Demon Lord and Gilly examine Mira seriously. Come on, don't worry. The laws of comedy state that nobody dies from stuff like this. Well, I'll heal him just in case. Anyway, what do you need of White? Its copies were running wild, so I had to stop them. Oh, she doesn't know about the copies. Oh. Oh, wait, no, I think she kind of did. No, she did figure it out. Never mind. I take that back. She did figure it out in the last part and realized there was no way she could win. As soon as she hears the word copies, the Demon Lord sits up with a jolt. So she really did have copies, huh? You knew about this? More or less. Oh. Wait, for reals? How did you know that? What are you, an Esper? Huh? Are you? An Esper? More like an ace detective. I figured it out through pure reasoning. Bow before my powers of deduction. Ooh, clap, 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 clap. That's right, applaud me. For some reason, now we're kind of hitting it off right now. I had wondered why your personality transformed into this, but now I think I might understand. I know, right? White might seem super cool and quiet, but this craziness is what she's like on the inside. Craziness? What do you mean craziness? Just like that, we start arguing uproariously over pretty much nothing. After we go on yelling like that for a while, things even eventually quiet down. Ariel, if evidently this creature's copy is intended to destroy all humanity. Oh yeah? And the reason they went on that rampage is most likely that they absorbed the Queen Taratek's soul. Huh. How about that? Ariel, do you hate humans so much that you wish to destroy them? The Demon Lord takes another drink before she responds. Sure I do. Finishing her glass, she launches into a rant. Yeah, I hate them. I hate them so much it drives me crazy. I hate those assholes who let Lady Sariel be their sacrifice so they can go on living their stupid lives. I hate this world that runs on Lady Sariel's constant suffering. I hate every last bit of it. Lady Sariel. Who is Lady? I know that the goddess. I know that their country is called it's the capital Sariel of the country. But was the country named after like a goddess or something, or queen, or I'm assuming it was a friend of the demon of Ariel's because she talks about her fondly. So maybe she was a administrator or something. I don't know. The glass in the Demon Lord's hand cracks and breaks into pieces. Ah! So the Demon Lord is the reason my parallel minds went rogue. I guess if the parent carries this much buried fury, it's no wonder that would have an effect on her child, my mother. And by absorbing mother, my parallel minds inherited that too. Although I still think it's pretty weak that beings who are supposed to be copies of me would let themselves be influenced by something like that so easily. But that's not what Lady Sariel wants, which is why I've been holding back all this time. You feel the same way, don't you, Gilly? Indeed, I suppose I do. Wow, that's dumb. The Demon Lord and Gilly turned toward me in unison as my absent-minded comment. Sorry, what was that? That's dumb, I said. I mean, am I wrong? It's stupid to not do something you really want to do just for someone else's sake. I mean, what's the point in not doing what you want? That kind of life's no fun. Whatever people might say or do, what matters most is what you yourself want to do, right? It doesn't make sense to hold on back for someone else's sake. I'll happily trample all over someone else if it means I get to do what I want. Oh, that's not a good mindset. Haha, the Demon Lord chuckles wearily. If we could be as egotistical as White, our lives would probably be a lot easier. Gilly, on the other hand, looks thoughtful. I see, they are similar. Huh? Who? I always thought it was strange that Dee had taken such a liking to this creature, but after their conversation it all makes sense. This creature's arrogance and selfishness are just like Dee. Objection! Your Honor, how can this man slander my good name by comparing me to Dee? Well, the way you were just talking about, dude, you're talking about trampling all over people just to do what you want to do. Isn't that kind of selfish and arrogant? Duh? Which is exactly what makes it so dangerous. Gilly puts down his glass, but before he can do anything else, a smartphone suddenly materializes before his eyes. You know what I'm going to say, right? Very well. Good. After that brief exchange, the smartphone disappears. The hell was that? Beats me. The Demon Lord and I look at each other and shrug. I kind of feel like I might have just narrowly escaped an extremely precarious situation, but we'll just assume that was my imagination. I'm assuming that he was planning on taking you out because you were essentially a danger like Dee, but someone he could actually take care of, and I'm guessing that was Dee that materialized it as a smartphone and told him, yeah, no, you're not doing that. Huh. No matter the era, it seems that major events are always set into motion by the selfishness of one individual. Gilly looks at me steadily. What do you intend to do from this point on? I don't know. I won't know what I'm going to do next until it happens. All I know is I'm going to do what I want. I'm not going to let anyone else influence me into changing my goals or something stupid like that. I'll just act based on my own pride. You can count on that much. I'm not like my idiot parallel minds who let Mother influence them into trying to wipe out humanity. I'm going to follow my own will and do exactly what I want to do. There is one little problem with that, however. What exactly is my pride? I can't go around living for no reason. I gotta live with pride, right? I swore that to myself after my home got burned down back in the Great Overlord Labyrinth. But since then I've been so preoccupied with simply staying alive that I haven't had a chance to decide what exactly my pride is based on. Now, though, I don't have to be worried about mere survival. I've gotten strong enough that I can live more or less problem-free. It's about time I start really living with pride. Pride, huh? I look at the two people in front of me, the Demon Lord and Gilly Gilly. Those two have lived longer than you would believe, but they frittered it all away on someone else. Namely, to protect the pride of the goddess Seriella. Okay, it was a goddess, okay. I knew the goddess religion existed, I just didn't know who the goddess was. My gaze keeps moving. Next I see Mira and Vampy sound asleep together. Mira, too, is the type to devote his life to someone else. Doing something for someone else's sake. It's a motivation I can't understand, but it does seem to be a motivation you can be proud of. There's no point in going on living without any pride. But is there any point having nothing but pride in living in solitude? The Earth Dragon Erebba comes to mind. Erebba was incredibly strong and dignified, but its final moments were so lonely. Am I going to die like that someday too? Dying in obscurity, mourned by nobody. Yeah, I don't want that. Pride for someone else's sake, huh? Well, I've got a couple of experts in that path right in front of me, so I'll go ahead and learn from their example. Please teach me well, senpai. What is it talking about? I don't know. I never know what White is thinking. The reactions are so funny, I can't help laughing again. I'm still not sure what exactly my pride is about, but if I keep watching these two, I feel like I might just figure it out. Incidentally, I woke up to the next morning not remembering any of this. Sometimes you take a drink, and sometimes the drink takes you. Hey, that's a pretty good saying. Okay. Okay, Administrator, I was going to say Administrator Gilly Gilly. One of the administrators who controls this world and its system. As part of his duties, he is in charge of dragons and worms. Okay, that makes sense as to why he was so protective of the dragons before. Okay. He knows about reincarnations, having learned of them when one killed a dragon. Under orders from his superior, Administrator D, he is to observe them without interfering. However, he often acts independently by lending Ariel a hand, narrowly towing the line, and exploiting other such loopholes. Being one of those in charge of the world's system, he is incredibly strong. However, he currently finds himself stuck between a rock and a hard place, as he balances between the unimaginably powerful D and a certain problem-causing reincarnation. He is watching over the world for the sake of goddess Seriella. So was Seriella an administrator at one point? Because I'm assuming that the administrators were gods at some point. Because, I mean, D did say that they are an evil god. So it makes sense that the administrators are actually gods. Okay, V4, leaving misfortune behind. The day after we ran into the Word of God Pontiff, Merizophis collapsed. The cause? Blood loss. He fainted because I drank too much of his blood. Well, I couldn't help it. For some reason at that particular moment, I felt like I had to drink Merizophis' blood no matter what. I drank too much? Fine, I'm sorry. Anyway, because of his condition and all, we ended up staying an extra night. After that, Merizophis was back to normal, thankfully. Calling it an apology to White for making her wait an extra day, Ariel ordered another bottle of liquor. I'm pretty sure she just wanted to drink it herself. As it turns out, Ariel's quite fond of drinking. When he met back up with White, the evening wound up turning into a little party. Who was that man in black who casually joined in, though? Since Ariel didn't complain, I assumed it was a friend of hers. And since White wasn't saying anything either, it felt like we shouldn't comment somehow, so I sort of let it go. Figuring I'd get revenge for last time, I took another sip of alcohol, but of course I wound up passing out. Next thing I knew, it was morning and the man in black was gone. What a mystery. After that, we started up our journey again. As usual, we spent days traveling through forests, mountains, and anywhere else that regular people would never pass through. Then at long last, we reached the capital of Seriella. Since it's the headquarters of the goddess religion, there are churches everywhere you look, and the whole place has a very solemn air. But there are also plenty of lively marketplaces and stuff. You'd think that would seem sort of out of place, but somehow it all works together in harmony. I think it's because the goddess religion is such a normal part of life for the people here. It sort of reminds me of when we went on a trip to Kyoto in middle school. Then again, I got bullied the whole time, so I didn't exactly have much fun. Our party enters a restaurant at random and eats dinner. Then we get a room at the inn and relax for the evening. It's the same routine every time we arrive at an inn. Or at a town, but this time is different. This is our destination, and now that we've reached it, I have to come up with my answer about what we're going to do next. Say goodbye to Ariel and White and stay in Seriella, or accompany them to the demon territory. Well, I suppose there might be other options too, so want to stay here for a few days and decide what we're going to do next? Ariel proposes, but I shake my head. No, I don't need a few days. I've already decided my answer. Miss Ariel, please take us with you to the demon territory. Are you sure? Yes, I've given it a lot of thought. When I answer her immediately, Ariel's gaze turns towards Merizophis. Before she can say anything, I give him an order. Merizophis, come with me. Merizophis is my servant. He has to do what I say. Ariel is probably going to ask him what he wants, but that doesn't matter. I'm not taking no for an answer. Certainly, young miss. Sure enough, Merizophis readily agrees. The day we encountered the Pontiff of the Word of God, I told Merizophis he could go off on his own if he wanted. He's the one who rejected that and chose to stay with me. So from now on, whatever happens, I'm not letting him go. Even if he still has attachment to this country, if I say we're leaving, then we're leaving. Or maybe I should say because he still has attachments. Merizophis was born and raised in this country, found various things here, then lost them all. He has to detach himself from this place both physically and mentally. Otherwise, ultimately, Merizophis is serving my parents, not me. He's staying by my side and protecting me because that's what they wanted him to do. But that's not good enough. I don't want him to stay with me for my parents' sake. I can't tolerate that. He has to stay with me for my sake. I wouldn't tell him to forget about my parents, of course. Their memories are precious to him. But I want him to put me above all that. Merizophis is mine, after all. I won't let anyone else have him, not even my mother and father. That's why we can't stay in this country where he has so many memories. We're going to leave so both of us can start over, leaving everything behind. And then I'll make sure Merizophis acknowledges me as his real master. Real master? I would say current master. I mean, you can't make him really forget about your parents, so thus he can't forget about them being his former master and mistress. I don't know any more about this. I do know that it's probably best for him to leave anyway, because staying here would be too painful, because he'd be reminded constantly about what he failed to do in protecting his master and mistress, even though they told him to leave them behind anyway. But still. For that to happen, I have to grow into someone befitting that role. I want to be kind and understanding of other people's feelings like Ariel. I want to help people without asking anything in return like White. Though I hate to admit it, White really is amazing. Even putting her stats and skills and all that aside, I think she's more than just a human on the inside. I don't know any human being who would do this much for someone else free of charge. I mean, humans can do that, you know? They can be like that, but those people are probably more or less akin to, not quite saints, but they definitely are similar. Those who are like that all the time, like every single time they like helping people without getting anything in return. Those types of people are more like saints. She gives off a sense of unwavering conviction and pride. I might still feel a little bit of jealousy toward her, but more than that, I'm starting to respect her. It really wasn't just her looks that made people worship her in our previous lives. If I improve the person I am on the inside, maybe my life will improve a little bit too. I remember my parents from my old life, whose only merits were their good-natured personalities. Really, they had nothing else going for them. But instead of feeling bad for themselves, they always seemed to be so happy. Good looks really aren't everything. You have to be a good person on the inside too. That's why I'll try to improve myself as a person. I'll use the looks I inherited from my parents in this world and add the positive qualities I've learned from White, Ariel, and my parents in my old world, and become the perfect young lady, one worthy of being Merizophis' master. Merizophis, make sure you always stay with me and support me, alright? Of course, young miss. I held out a hand, and Merizophis kneels and kisses it reverently. Wait a second, this is for the best, right? I think it is, but, something feels a little bit off here. Is she turning into a yandere? What? How did things end up like this? Ariel scratches her head and mutters to herself, but I'm just going to ignore her. Thus we resolve to go to the demon territory. A yandere? I haven't seen enough of her in the future to know if that's the case, but I guess we'll see as it goes if she does or not. Let me know if you got what you guys think on that, because I have no idea. Okay, Part 2, Report on the Nightmare of the Labyrinth. After the tragedy of Zatona, the nightmare did not appear again for some time. According to Sir Julius, the hero, who was in a standoff with the nightmare until the end of the tragedy of Zatona. The nightmare disappeared after being hit by a large spell cast by one of the armies. It is assumed the spell was the work of the army of the Holy Kingdom of Elias. At the time, it was thought that the nightmare was killed by the spell, but considering the subsequent defense of Karen County, it is now generally thought that the nightmare may have survived. The defense of Karen County took place in year 842 of the Kingdom of Calendar, the same year as the tragedy of Zatona. In this incident, the former capital of Karen County was attacked by an onslaught of white spider monsters. The attack was intercepted by the Ost Alliance army, which was preparing to continue its invasion of Seriella. Sir Julius the hero, though quite young at the time, also participated in the defense, as did Elder Ronan, the court mage of the Empire, who happened to be present at the time. With their assistance, the spider horde was successfully repelled. However, due to the massive casualties, Ost was forced to cancel its invasion of Seriella. There are many theories as to where the spider swarm originated, but most prominent is the belief that it was connected with the nightmare. It is generally thought that the nightmare may have been commanding the army. However, some scholars believe that if the nightmare was truly leading the spider army, then the defense would not have been a success. You're not wrong on that one. After this incident, white spider monsters known as the Nightmare's Vestiges, which are assumed to be the same species as those that appeared in the defense of Karen County, emerged, but none of these sightings has been confirmed as the Nightmare itself. I was thinking originally that the Nightmare's Vestiges were the parallel minds. But since she defeated them all and they're back in her head now, unless she did the same thing again but made them promise not to do this stupid shit again, then who are the Nightmare's Vestiges? That's what I wonder. In any event, the final confirmed sighting of the Nightmare was at the tragedy of Zatona, and any subsequent sightings can be considered only speculation. Theories abound as to whether the Nightmare died at the tragedy of Zatona or at the defense of Karen County, or continues to survive somewhere even today. But these two are nothing more than speculation, and the truth of the matter is unknown. In conclusion, though, the Nightmare's period of activity was short. It has had an enormous impact on human society. Most notably, it reminded us that that there are some individual creatures against which no ordinary human, even an army of them, stand a chance. The monsters considered to be legendary class may be few in number, but their existence cannot be denied. The only reason we humans continue to exist, in spite of the existence of monsters that it's said no number of humans could defeat, is that these monsters have no interaction with humans. Legendary class monsters live only in unexplored regions and places where humans dare not set foot. It is only because they do not approach human settlements that humanity is allowed to keep living. Personally, I believe the Nightmare showed itself before humanity to remind us of that fact. Agrisa Furyu, Adelaide Kingdom monster researcher. And the afterword. I'm Akina Baba, and I don't get any stronger if I take off my clothes. The only people who get stronger when they move their clothes are ninjas. If an old man takes off his clothes, he won't get any stronger. What the fuck? He would be a weirdo. The only place where it's acceptable to be fully nude is at home and in the bathhouse. Everyone, please behave yourself and don't imitate his behavior. I'm not sure how things wound up this way myself. That old man is seriously out of control, but let's forget about that ridiculous case. Oh, I love this. Oh. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to end this one off here, and I will see you guys in the next volume, which will be volume 7. I'll see y'all then.